Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. It is Sunday, June 28th, 2020. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it so much. If you're just coming upon this podcast, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on. Please check out my website at lisahopp.com. That's lisahopp.com. For everything about my sessions, my work, and my events. I would love to hear from you too if you have any questions or would like to book a session. And for those who are coming back, thank you so much for all your support, all your feedback. I appreciate it so much. I know I tell you every week, but I really mean it. It matters, and so I'm very grateful. Thank you. It was another heartbreaking week, wasn't it? It's very hard to be a sensitive person nowadays. So for those of you out there like me who are empaths, it's so very important you take care of yourselves right now. I know I had to take a break yesterday just to get out. I've had to take more breaks recently because everything is really weighing me down. Everything is truly making me tired. And I don't mean tired, I mean physically tired. And it's very important that you take care of yourself if you are somebody who feels more. But it's so very important that you don't check out. None of us should be checking out right now, because even though this is a very challenging time, a time when it's very easy to be angry or depressed or anxious. This is a time when we have a part to play. We have a part that is very important to change this world into a greater time. And everything that's happening, and you know every week I talk about this if you've listened to my previous podcast, everything that's happening right now is divine. We're shifting, and it might even get harder before it gets better. But there is a great purpose here. So stay with it. Fasten your seatbelt for the ride. Don't check out, but take care of yourself. Give yourself breaks when you need to. Talk to your friends. Escape on little day trips or vacations, whatever you need to do. And wear your mask. Protect yourself, because that's very important right now as well. So this week, something that's so very important is what I want to talk about. And that is your gift that you are given upon birth of intuition. It's a gift from God that's given to all of us. Some call it your gut, your knowing, a feeling. I know it is intuition. And it's so important right now to be able to tune into it. And the one thing about intuition is that oftentimes it's a whisper. So tuning into it really needs practice. It has to be a way of life, and it requires trust. Oftentimes, intuition is drowned out by the world, daily tasks, by people telling you not to trust it, that it's your imagination, you're wrong. I remember when I was younger, I would say to people, I really feel like this is going on. I really think I know this. And they would tell me I was wrong. Only though later on, one time it took like a few years. They told me actually I was right. They just weren't ready for me to know. They just weren't ready to validate my intuitive gut. So your intuition is something that you have to trust. Even when others would tell you that you're wrong, that's not true. And trusting it will give you the greatest security. And it won't matter if you trust no one else in your life. If you can trust your own gut, then you can trust yourself. And that will it will give you such a sense of security. And it won't matter what others are doing because you'll know what's going on. I can always tell when someone's lying to me. I can always tell who people truly are. And I don't always confront them. Sometimes I just take that knowing and decide privately what I want to do about it. Do I still want them to be someone who's close to me? Or do I want to put them in another box? Or do I want to cut myself from them entirely? I take it as it comes, individually. But it is a wonderful gift that I am able to discern who I can trust and who I truly can't. And people foul up. A lot of the time people lie to us just because they're afraid of our disapproval. They're afraid of letting us down, especially their loved ones. And so it's important to take it individually and to understand where that person might be coming from. And then there are other people who are just liars by trade, so as I said, take it as an individual case, each one. So how do you develop your intuition? Well, it takes practice. Even though we're all given it, we often don't use it. And when you don't use it, it tends to get a little shaky, a little wobbly. It's important to keep it sharper. Meditation is a key. And I've spoken about meditation before in previous podcasts. There are various forms of meditating. It doesn't have to be though that's a wonderful way. You can stare at a candle. You can meditate while walking. You can meditate while doing house chores. You can meditate while driving on a road with no other traffic and you know where you're going. Of course, your eyes will be open. You can meditate by just allowing the warm sun to be on your head and just centering yourself. You can meditate while putting on soothing music, just closing your eyes and allowing yourself to take deep breaths in, perhaps counting from 1 to 10. It's important to meditate 10 to 20 minutes a day, if you can, if at all possible. But at least meditate every other day, because a practice of meditation is not only going to sharpen your intuition, it also helps you physically. It'll help your blood pressure, your stress. It'll help you to lose weight. It'll help you to be sharp if you're taking tests or performing work functions. It just has an overall holistic and very well-rounded, healthy approach. And so meditation is essential whether you're trying to even sharpen your intuition or not. The next way to sharpen your intuition is to practice. When I first started wanting to sharpen my intuition, I would watch the news. And if there was an unsolved case in some way, I would allow myself to get some feelings about what was going on, and then I'd journal them, and then I'd wait and see if any answers came out. I've still kind of known to do that. If there's a break in the story, I'll say, I knew it. And so sometimes I still like to use it as a sharpening tool. Another way of sharpening your intuition is just blind faith and trust. Because as I said, people will tell you that you're not right. And so you have to trust it, whether you have the evidence or not. And over time it will reward you. So these are just a few of the ways of sharpening intuition. It's also important to keep in mind that intuition, as I said before, is very quiet. And we often will ignore it. It's such a whisper sometimes that we'll let our logical mind get in the way. We'll say, oh no, I'm getting this whisper, this feeling that I shouldn't get in the car. But it's not likely something's going to happen. Everything will be okay. And then we get into a little fender bender in a little bit. And then we remember, I thought I shouldn't do that. I thought I should have waited. And so it's very important to make sure to tune in to that little whisper, that little knowing. It's so quiet, so that tuning in will make it more pronounced. Another thing about intuition is that often people think they're intuitive when it's really their head. It's really their logic. And you can't debate with them, by the way. They'll go, no, I just know. But I can tell it's just their belief system. So you have to make sure that when you're tuning into your intuition, that you don't have a bias. That you're not expecting or believing something and thinking it's your intuition. I just know it. My sixth sense told me. If you're going to someone, by the way, for advice and wish to use their intuition, maybe someone who is professional, intuitive, you have to make sure that they are legitimately able to use their intuition and aren't going to have any biases. I have to say, I have distanced myself from people that will look at worldly events, and I can tell that their posts about them or their writings about them are based on bias, not on intuition. They should just know what's going on and why it's really going on. And if they don't, I back away. So be very discerning about who you turn to use their intuition, and also be very discerning about how you use yours. The answer oftentimes is not the answer that you would like to hear. There's a truthful answer, and there is the answer that you wish to hear. And sometimes, yes, the answer that you wish to hear is the truthful answer, but you must be very sure. So make sure that when you're using your intuition, it's coming from your solar plexus or abdomen area or your gut area, rather than your conscious mind, your heart, your thoughts, your words, your beliefs, how you wish it to be. It's very important that you put all of that aside and shelve it. There's such a great reward for having a strong intuition. As I said before, it brings you a sense of security, but also such a calm, because if you know what's really going on, you're in a better place to handle it. It's like, a prescription. It's like, it's good medicine. But if you don't know what's going on, you will feel out of control. And so you'll start to feel anxious and worried. So intuition is a way to combat all of that. I know it's going to be all right, even if I don't know how it's going to be all right. Something tells me it's going to be fine. Before the pandemic started, I had a gut. I had a gut that I should prepare for something. And I didn't tune in enough entirely to find out what that was. I noticed that I just honored my gut and started to do things almost like autopilot. I started to stock up on things or have daydreams about being together with family and needing plenty of supplies, and that was a hint. That was a hint from my subconscious that something was about to occur. And my intuitive self just started to honor it. It started to act out that little voice within me in such a subtle way that I didn't even realize I was doing it. Like I didn't even realize why I was having these consistent little daydreams during the day. And then I realized that I knew. And I've done that before. I just knew. Sometimes the night before a tragedy, I'll cry. And I don't know what the tragedy is going to be. I just know I feel it coming on. And so it's very important, by the way, if you have that ability to tune in emotionally, such as I have that ability. It's very important to take care of yourself and to make sure that what you're feeling is a universal thing or somebody else's emotions and not your own. If it isn't your own, and you have to make sure you can handle it, and if necessary, do some blocking of it. Perhaps put some white light around yourself, or give yourself breaks, as I talked about earlier. Take a walk. Exercise is great. Eat well. And so it's very important. Intuition is incredibly important. But we also have to make sure always that we're taking care of ourselves. We matter. You're important. You're precious. And during this time, as I said, so very important with this intuition, because there are so many people in important positions that don't see what's going on because they're going off their prejudices rather than their insights, rather than their intuition, rather than their divine tools, their divine gift. And they're in powerful positions, so they have the ability to mislead or harm. Sometimes it just seems like the world is reversed right now. But there is an awakening going on, and eventually everybody will come to that understanding. It might take years. It probably will take years. But everyone will come to that understanding. Everyone will see. So remember, see what you can do to help yourself during these times, and to work on your intuition, and to take care of your inner being and to take care of your physical body, just to be in the best possible shape right now, because things are rough and it's not over. It actually sometimes feels like what else could be coming at us. And it's important as well to use your discerning to know what is false and what is real, what is honesty and what is a lie. Because that's flipped all over the place too. Research. Go to non-slanted, non-partisan avenues, sites, books, people. This week, I had 2 people speak to me that were very confused. They said they were. What they had learned in their childhood was not the truth. And they were in this place where they didn't know what to believe and what not to believe. History is often written under 2 circumstances. Either one race writes history, or the victor writes history. In one case, though, it was about race writing history, not the victor. But that's usually what's occurring, is one of those 2. So we must be very careful to understand that we may not know it all. And there is much that has been kept from us. But information is power. Information is a blessing. Because with the truth, with the real history, we can really start to learn about each other and really start to bring about not only understanding and tolerance, but healing. And we need healing. We are a world in pain. And particularly in this country, in America, we're in a country in immense pain right now. So the more that we learn, the more that we learn what to trust, what to believe, what is real, the more we can start the road to healing. And your gut knows, your intuition knows. It knows when something's off. It knows when things don't make sense and when other things are common sense. So be sure. See what you can do to practice tuning up and tuning in. It's so very, very important. And then we'll all come together as one. And it'll be so much easier because we'll understand each other so much better. We can say to each other, I understand. I didn't before. But it is good that I understand now. And isn't, by the way, learning fun? I think it is. Maybe I'm a geek, I don't know. But I love learning new things. I love saying, I didn't know that. Wow. Sometimes it's painful what you learn, but a lot of times also it's fun It's amazing. Heaven wants to come to earth. It's trying. I think it's tried to come before. And I think this is different this time. But if we somehow bar it again from coming, it'll try again. I am too young to have lived consciously in the 60s, but there are similarities, but this time still feels a bit different in what I've learned about the 60s, and I've been quite obsessed with them lately. I've just been learning about people of the 50s and the 60s. And it's quite an interesting time. But while there are similarities, this time feels a little bit more like an evolution, instead of perhaps entirely revolution. And so we all play a part, and we all can get through it, and we all can make this world a greater place. And I have a little secret hope that we do it this time, and don't head into another decade of the 70s. I love the music. I'm talking more about the disco, even though I like that too. And the fact that it was very much a decade of self. I do hope it does keep evolving, and it is a little bit different this time. I think it will be a bit different this time. Let us all come together and help each other. Practice with your intuition. Use it to decide who you wish to have in your bubble. Who do you want to call friend? What family members do you want to have close? What job should you take? What should you eat? Use your intuition. It will tell you what your body truly needs, what it wants. Listen to it. It'll tell you when to go to the doctor. It'll tell you when you need to stock up on something. It is worth it. It is worth taking the time to sharpen it. So I hope you will consider it. I hope you will try it. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Be informed. Take your place among the whole. But also be sure to take care of yourself. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. I appreciate you very much. Please be sure once again to go to my website, lisahop.com. Also, if you're hearing this on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate it so much. My channel is building little by little by little, but boy would I love for it to grow even more. So whatever you can do to help me, I'd appreciate it very much. Thank you once again, and many blessings.